Hello, you guys. It is morning in North Florida, and today I'm going to be telling you how to cool down your RC motor temperatures. Now, I've looked at a bunch of informational videos telling you how to do it, and in my opinion, some of them work and some of them don't work, so this is 100% real. So, the most helpful thing for me to do was number one, you have to change the gearing. If you have a crawler and you have a 23 tooth in there, it's fine, but if you run it for too long and for too fast, even if it's a crawler, it'll heat up really bad. Here, let me show you my problem. This is my Telluride. This is not a standard Telluride. I cut air holes in it. They're kind of discreet to where it still looks good, but you can notice it a bit. If you've ever owned a Telluride or seen one, you probably know what's going on here. Number one, there's no antenna hole. I cut a big hole where the antenna is, but a bit discreet. And number two, I cut out the little fake fog lights and a little bit of the bumper because that was rubbing up against it anyway. There is so much increased airflow in this already. These wheel wells also help down there. If air comes in through here, if I blow on it, I can feel it in the motor. The motor's getting cold that way. And then there's a little hole right here which air flows into. I've checked that. Check this one. And then the air can flow through here. If you have big wheel wells like this one, air gets trapped in there and it goes whoop right in there and cools off the motor or ESC. So I had a problem with this Telluride and I fixed it. I changed the gearing. I changed the airflow, and I changed I changed some weight reduction onto it, so it would run a bit cooler. If you have trouble with the Traxxas two-wheel drive, let's say I only have two-wheel drives by Traxxas. A Rustler. There's an easy way to do that. There's usually a little roof scoop at the top. This one, I don't run this body. It's just a shelf pin body. A little roof scoop on top, cut that out, boom, you have more airflow back into the motor. Or what you could do for this one is change the gearing. It's easier to change the gearing, in my opinion, because then you won't have to worry about aerodynamics. But you can undergear it and you can overgear it. Yeah, so another problem with heating things up is that it'll destroy electronics. It'll destroy the ESC, the motor. Traxxas has a thermal shutdown. If you're using a low-C, I don't really know. I have a couple low-Cs, but I'm never going to run them. I always check the motor temps and ESC temps. If the motor is really, really, really hot, it's supposed to get hot, but it's not supposed to get that hot, then I shut it down, and I get tired of that. It's so obnoxious. So what I did one day, my Traxxas Slash, that thing heats up, it's normal, but it heats up too much to the point where it's if you run it past 5 minutes, it's going to go into thermal shutdown. It was super hot. So what I did, I didn't even cut out any air holes. I changed the spur gear, and I changed the mesh a little bit. That's pretty much it. The spur gear helps so much. It does make it slower, but you can't really notice it. There's a Stampede over there. I changed the gearing into it to a 23 tooth pinion gear. That was a little bit risky because I didn't know how hot it would be. That thing's fine. It runs great now. It's running super fast. Also, if another problem with two-wheel drives is that they come with bushings. Here, I'll show you. This is a bushing. This is what's in your drive shaft if you own a two-wheel drive Traxxas or a cheaper low-C or one of those, or Red Cat sometimes. Watch this. You can't move it. It's not movable. If you have bearings, it'll, number one, reduce friction, which means you go faster. Number two, it will decrease if you wear out your drive shafts. And number three, it'll cool the motor down. And also cool the gears and stuff like that. So, that was my problem. I hope one of these fixed it, but if not, I'm going to keep going. So another thing that you could do, I don't like this method, but it's pretty good. I hate to say that. You have to reduce the tire size. I hate that. I don't like to reduce tire sizes Because number one, tires are tires. They shouldn't really cause heat. Sorry, the mockingbird out my window. We have pretty big tires on the Telluride. So I didn't downsize the tires at all. I wanted to do something else than that because these are Proline tires and they're like $40 and they won't fit onto my Slash or that thing, the Stampede. It wouldn't look that good, in my opinion. It would work on a Rustler, but I mean, I wouldn't use it for that because those are like $48 Prolines, and I'm just gonna. So I decided to keep the tires, just do a little tweaking. So I put some air holes. I reduced the weight. I hope this video helped, and I hope that one day your RC car will run cooler. Have a great day.